I'm an editor for Health Fitness 1 Hour 41. Today, I wish you a nice day. And here is the episode new. Let's see.
1. Patrick Mahomes survives injury scare in Chiefs' overtime win vs. Buccaneers. Patrick Mahomes expressed relief after experiencing an ankle injury scare during the Kansas City Chiefs' 30-24 overtime win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He described the injury as an awkward roll of the same ankle he had hurt the previous week, which initially caused him concern. However, after calming down, he found that the injury wasn't severe. Mahomes was helped off the field by medical staff after he injured his ankle while making a touchdown pass to Samaje Perine, who caught the ball in the end zone while Mahomes remained on the ground in pain. 2. Chiefs vs. Buccaneers highlights. Kansas City prevails in OT on Monday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs secured a 30-24 victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a thrilling overtime match on Monday Night Football, marking their best start in the Patrick Mahomes era. Despite a scare when Mahomes awkwardly landed after a touchdown pass, he returned to lead the team to its 14th consecutive win. Tight end Travis Kelce had a career-high 14 catches, while new acquisition DeAndre Hopkins excelled with 8 catches for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns in his first home game. The game began with Tampa Bay's Rachaad White scoring first, but Mahomes quickly responded to give the Chiefs a 10-7 lead before halftime. 3. Jarrett Cole, Yankees call each other's bluffs in opt-out saga. Grass isn't always greener. Jarrett Cole and the New York Yankees briefly considered parting ways when Cole exercised his opt-out clause, but ultimately decided to stay together after discussions. Both sides recognized their mutual desire to remain connected, with the Yankees not wanting to lose their ace and Cole not wanting to leave. They agreed to move past the opt-out situation, reaffirming their commitment nearly 5 years after signing a 9-year, $324 million contract. 4. Jason Kelce apologizes for role in incident involving heckler's homophobic slur. Jason Kelce apologized for an incident involving an unruly fan during a recent appearance on ESPN's College Game Day. While attending the Ohio State vs. Penn State game, Kelce was confronted by a fan who shouted anti-LGBTQ slurs about his brother, Travis Kelce, who is dating Taylor Swift. In response, Kelce grabbed the fan's phone and threw it to the ground before picking it up and walking away. The fan then chased after him, demanding his phone back, to which Kelce retorted, "Who's the expletive now?" 5. NFL trade deadline updates. Latest news, rumors, analysis ahead of Tuesday's cutoff. The NFL trade deadline is approaching, with teams having until Tuesday at 4 p.m. ET to make roster changes before the second half of the season. So far, 9 trades have occurred this season, and more significant moves may still happen. The Cleveland Browns are a team to watch, having already traded wide receiver Amari Cooper to the Buffalo Bills and potentially looking to offload other players, including defensive end Zadarius Smith. USA Today Sports will provide ongoing updates on trade news and developments. 6. DeAndre Hopkins celebrates first Chiefs TD with Remember the Titans dance. The Kansas City Chiefs recently traded a conditional draft pick to the Tennessee Titans for wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. After a slow start in Week 8, Hopkins significantly contributed to the Chiefs' performance against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football, making 2 key catches, including his first touchdown for the team. His celebration referenced the Disney movie Remember the Titans, hinting at his connection to his former team. Last season, Hopkins recorded 75 catches for 1,057 yards and 7 touchdowns with the Titans. In the game, he finished with 8 catches for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns, helping the Chiefs secure a 30-24 overtime victory. 7. Can the Kansas City Chiefs go undefeated? How they could reach 17-0 in 2024. The Kansas City Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes, are 7-0 for the first time in his tenure and will face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a Week 9 Monday Night Football game. Despite facing key injuries on offense and Mahomes having a challenging season with a high number of interceptions and low yards per game, the Chiefs are in a position to pursue an undefeated season in 2024. Their defense remains strong, contributing to their success, as 5 of their 7 victories have been by 8 points or less. 8. Opinion. Women's sports are on the ballot in this election. 2 recent years have seen significant progress for women's sports, with increased viewership, sponsorship, and public interest. However, the outcome of the recent election poses a threat to this momentum. If Donald Trump is re-elected, protections under Title IX, which safeguard against sexual violence and ensure athletic opportunities, could be jeopardized. Additionally, reproductive rights and the overall treatment of women may regress. The continued advancement of women's sports is closely tied to these broader issues, and failing to recognize this connection could undermine the gains made. Anna Gorov warns that a Trump administration would have detrimental effects on athletes' rights. 9. Spurs coach Greg Popovich sidelined indefinitely with undisclosed illness. San Antonio Spurs coach Greg Popovich will miss at least the next 2 games due to an undisclosed illness. He did not coach during the Spurs' recent victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves, with assistant coach Mitch Johnson stepping in. Popovich, 75, did not travel with the team for their upcoming game against the Los Angeles Clippers and is also expected to miss the game against Houston on Wednesday. Reports indicate he had a health issue prior to the Timberwolves game. Spurs guard Chris Paul praised Johnson's performance in Popovich's absence. 10. Who is San Antonio Spurs interim coach Mitch Johnson? San Antonio Spurs assistant coach Mitch Johnson will take on interim coaching responsibilities as head coach Greg Popovich recovers from an undisclosed health issue. Johnson, who has been with the Spurs since 2019, will lead the team for at least the next 2 games. He acknowledged Popovich's health concerns and emphasized the need for readiness among the coaching staff. 11. Baron Browning trade grades. Who won deal between Cardinals, Broncos? The Arizona Cardinals and Denver Broncos, both with a 5-4 record, have differing views on their season's trajectory. As reflected in a recent trade, the Cardinals acquired outside linebacker Baron Browning from the Broncos for a 6th-round draft pick. This move could benefit both teams. The Cardinals are aiming for a playoff push in the NFC West, while the Broncos are reassessing their situation after a heavy loss to the Baltimore Ravens. The trade grades indicate a B+ for the Cardinals, who have struggled with their pass rush, ranking last in the NFL for most of the season. Although they recently had a standout performance against the Chicago Bears, 12. NFL flexes Colts vs Jets out of Week 11 SNF schedule, moving Bengals vs Chargers in the NFL has moved the Indianapolis Colts Week 11 game against the New York Jets from Sunday Night Football to a 1 p.m. Eastern time slot, replacing it with the Cincinnati Bengals game against the Los Angeles Chargers. This is the second change to the Sunday night lineup this season, following the Colts' previous game switch. The Colts, currently 4-5, recently benched quarterback Anthony Richardson in favor of Joe Flacco, who struggled in a loss to the Minnesota Vikings. The Jets, at 3-6, are trying to maintain their playoff hopes after a recent win against the Houston Texans, 13. Early Week 10 Fantasy Football Rankings. 30 risers and fallers. The 2024 NFL season is approaching a critical point for fantasy managers, with Week 9 showcasing strong performances from sophomore players, including top 20 running backs like Devon Achane and Bijan Robinson, and receivers such as Jackson Smith and Jigba and Zay Flowers. As Week 10 begins, USA Today Sports offers comprehensive resources for fantasy football, including rankings for different scoring formats, waiver wire suggestions, drop and buy low, sell high options to assist managers in their lineup and roster decisions. 14. Fantasy Football Buy Low, Sell High. 10 trade targets for Week 10. As the fantasy football trade deadline approaches, managers need to assess their rosters and consider trades to improve their chances for playoffs. With ongoing changes in the NFL, such as injuries and player performance shifts, it's crucial to stay adaptable. The text highlights 10 players whose fantasy values have fluctuated after Week 9. One notable player to consider is Giants running back Tyrone Tracy Jr., who has consistently performed well, recording at least 15 carries in 4 of his last 5 games. Despite the return of Devin Singletary,